Well, let's face it, if politicians, companies, and individuals made rational decisions, we would have climate action right now. Instead, what we have is status quo bias and procrastination in the face of truly existential social issues. Psychologists actually have identified 3 ways in which we make decisions and process information. One of them is by calculation, rational or near rational calculation. But that process, that mode is supplemented, complemented by making decisions based on our feelings, positive or negative feelings, fear versus pride, but also by following social norms and social rules, standard operating procedures, or moral rules of conduct. Personal experience with the negative consequences of inaction is a very effective way of getting people's attention. Telling people stories about the positive consequences of action is also very effective. And on top of that, we actually have to tell people what are effective and feasible actions that they can take in the face of climate change or species loss. I think governments would be much more likely to take action on climate change and on biodiversity if 3 things were in place. One of them is for them to understand how strongly the population in Western countries feels about their desire for governments to take action on that. The second part is that legal action oftentimes helps quite a bit. In Canada, there's been recent legal decisions on protecting young people from the consequences of climate change. In Switzerland, it had to do with older people in a lawsuit about diminishing their living standards. And then lastly, I think if our policymakers were held more effectively responsible for their actions and inactions, that would go a long way to motivate more action. Well, no single academic discipline holds all the answers. To combat climate change, for example, we need technological answers, we need economic answers, and we need social and psychological answers. And those have to be coordinated in effective ways. And so a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approach is the only way to go. The physicist Amory Lovins talks about applied hope, the belief that the world can be a better place, and then working very hard to make it so. And I very much sign on to that line and to that belief. Now, what's required to work on climate change, I think, are longer time horizons. We have to believe that consequences beyond the next 3 months, the corporate quarters matter, that we have to leave the world for our children and grandchildren. And also we have to basically work on the fact that politicians should look out for public welfare rather than for their re-election success.